So, what if I told you that the ending to Stranger Things, the one we all watched, was a complete and utter lie?
Okay, let's get right into it. The whole thing is built on this one simple but pretty shocking idea that's just exploded online. That the grand finale we all saw, well, it just wasn't the real one.
And it's even got a name, Conformity Gate. The core idea is that the sorta happy ending we got was nothing but a mass hallucination, a trick played on everyone by Vecna himself. And the believers, they're convinced there's a secret, real finale just waiting to drop.
So you've got to be wondering, where in the world did this whole thing even come from? Well, this is where it gets fun. Fans started connecting the dots, but the trail didn't start in the show. It started in the real world, with all the marketing and social media posts.
Believers in this theory would tell you, oh, absolutely. They point to a whole bunch of weird social media posts and strange marketing that just felt deliberate. To them, it was like a secret campaign hidden in plain sight. Let's take a look at the evidence.
And what's wild is just how many of these little oddities there were. I mean, you've got these cryptic messages from Netflix accounts all over the world. One of them even changed its profile name to One Last Episode. Then there's this ad from Scandinavia with dice that just so happened to add up to 43, the exact number of days until a rumored release date. Coincidence? Fans think not.
But it wasn't just online stuff. This is pretty cool. Fans discovered a piece of official merch, this radio box, and when you put it under a black light, it reveals a hidden message. And that message is, Vecna lives. Kind of throws a wrench in the whole we defeated the bad guy ending, doesn't it?
And then this image surfaced. It's supposed to be a screenshot from the AMC Theaters website, showing tickets for a brand new event called Stranger Things 5: A New Way. But here's the kicker. The description literally says, Conformity Gate is real. So, is this the smoking gun, or just a very, very convincing fake?
All right, so that's all the real-world stuff. But the theory's biggest supporters say the clues weren't just in the marketing. Nope, they were baked right into the finale itself, hiding in plain sight for all of us to see.
People with eagle eyes started noticing something really strange. Exit signs. They were everywhere in the background. Now, usually set designers try their best to hide those things, right? So the fact that they were so obvious made fans think it was a deliberate choice. You know, like in The Truman Show, a constant little hint that the characters are trapped and need to find a way out.
And the graduation scene? Oh, man. This is where things get really weird. The whole thing just felt off. For one, the graduation gowns were totally the wrong color for Hawkins High. All the students were sitting in this bizarre, robotic, perfectly uniform way. And get this, a poster hanging on the wall in the background was completely blank. It's all these little details that just scream, this is a dream, this isn't real.
And hey, remember Dimension X? Throughout Season 4, it was this dark, cold, terrifying place. But then in the final battle, all of a sudden it's bright and warm and orange? I mean, why the complete 180 on the art direction? It just didn't add up.
On top of all that, you have these little continuity errors popping up, like a compass that changes color between shots. But more importantly, what about major characters? Dustin's and Robin's girlfriends, who are a big deal, just disappear. They're completely gone from the end of the story. The theory says that's because Vecna didn't know them, so he couldn't include them in his fake world.
Okay, this part of the theory is maybe the wildest of them all. Some fans took a very close look at the Mind Flayer's face and argued that Vecna designed it to look a certain way, specifically as a psychological weapon to target Will's deepest personal fears. It's like a mind game inside of another mind game.
So, wow, we have gone deep down that rabbit hole. Now let's pull ourselves back up for a minute and take a look at the more skeptical, grounded arguments against Conformity Gate.
First things first, you gotta follow the money. A single episode of Stranger Things costs about $30 million to make. $30 million. Can you imagine the cost of secretly filming an entire second finale? It would be absolutely monumental, almost unbelievable.
And let's just say they had that kind of money to burn. Why wouldn't they market it? It makes absolutely no business sense to spend tens of millions of dollars on the real ending to one of the biggest shows in the world and then just release it with zero promotion. That's just not how it works.
So when you take a step back, the hurdles are just massive. And a secret episode wouldn't even fix some of the main plot points people didn't like. Plus, the show's creators are already talking about their new spin-off projects. You know what they say, sometimes the simplest explanation is the right one. Maybe it was just an ending that not everyone loved.
So, if it's almost certainly not real, why does a theory like this even exist in the first place? And honestly, this is where the story gets really, really interesting. This quote from an online comment pretty much says it all. This whole elaborate theory wasn't just born from people connecting random dots. It was born from a real, powerful sense of dissatisfaction with the ending they got. And it's actually a pretty incredible example of how fans can become storytellers too. When the official story doesn't hit the right notes, they use their passion and their creativity to write their own. So when you look at it that way, Conformity Gate is less of a conspiracy theory and more of a creative rebellion.
Before we wrap this up, the person who laid out this whole theory had one final wild idea of their own, one that takes this whole thing to a completely different level.
He suggests that maybe the Mind Flayer never really died. What if a little piece of it survived, hitched a ride on some shady government agent, and found its way to a whole new town, let's say somewhere in Oregon, where it could just lie in wait and open a new rift?
Now, just think about that for a second. A story set in Oregon. It's got a parallel, dark mirror world. It's run by a spider-like monster who kidnaps kids. Does that sound at all familiar? Could Stranger Things actually be a secret prequel to Coraline? I guess maybe the wildest theories are still yet to come. What do you think?